Welcome back, friends. It's the Halfass Crafter. I'm Laura, the Halfass Crafter. It's New Magazine Monday, and boy, do I have some new magazines for you. I have magazines I've never been through, so I know I've never been through them with you, and we're going to do something a little bit special today as well, but here are the magazines we're going to go through, and I am first going to go through this Wine Spectator. Now, I know I've talked about the Wine Spectator on my channel before. It's a great place to get bottles. I have a free subscription. I got it from rewardsurvey.com, not rewards. If you put the S in reward, you get a whole different site. Don't go to that site. Rewardsurvey.com. You fill out some surveys, they give you some points, and then you can get free magazine subscriptions. So I think I mentioned in my last Gluebook Saturday video, or maybe even my last Magazine Monday video, that I have been going through magazines and recycling them. Now, most of the time, the magazines I go through, like Vogue or Good Housekeeping, Better Homes and Gardens, I just go through them and I go through them and I go through them. I don't recycle them. Wine Spectator are huge, as you can see. So here's a regular size magazine. There's Wine Spectator. It takes up a ton of space. They're hard to store. And really, they don't have a ton in them. If you like to do bottle people, then you're going to find tons of stuff in here. So I know that there's another one that's the same size as this called Whiskey Advocate. That one I think has better pictures, but I will say Wine Spectator has upped their game. But anyway, in a previous video, I talked about how I was going to show you a way that I learned from another video from another YouTube person, how to harvest a magazine. And I tried it and I was like, this is brilliant. So we're going to harvest this Wine Spectator this way. We'll harvest the other ones the same way I always do it. But the Wine Spectator, we're going to do it the way that I discovered from Nicole over at Relax Cut Glue. So Nicole will tear up a magazine. And she says the reason she does that is because she can pull off each page, look at it, and discover what does she want. So obviously, I could take this as a neat rectangle, which I might. I could take that bottle. I could take these. So I will keep this page. I think I might want Scary Good, or I might want these edges there. On the other side, there's some leaves. So maybe I'll take that. If I wanted, I could take those leaves, but I'm not like desperate for stuff. So I don't want anything there. Another person that harvests her magazines this way is Shannon Green. She harvests her magazines this way because she's like, I can't keep all this stuff. So she just tears it off and creates a little pile. So what's jumping out to me here are these colors. I might take those just for little squares and rectangles. And some folks are probably curious, well, how do you harvest those squares and rectangles? So, and I've gotten asked this question. So I don't really want those people. So I'm going to cut this like that. And I don't want those people. This I don't want at all. And I mean, I could keep it, right? Like if I wanted just the color of it, I could keep that, but I'm not going to worry about that. I have a lot of squares and rectangles right now. And then what you can do is you can come in and just cut this into a rectangle. And then I don't want that dude's head, so it's going to end up being a small rectangle. So there we go. Small rectangle. And then the same thing for this one. You would just line this up, whack that off, line that up, whack that off. There we go. I don't really want these people, so I would line this up. Now the people are gone. That's it. Someone also asked me, how do you choose what to put on your backgrounds? I just usually go by color. If I am sorting through, I'll find similar colors. Like if I have something that's, say, you know, red, green, and yellow, then maybe I'll be like, oh, maybe I could add a little blue or something. That's a nice bottle for a body. So I think I'll take that. So since I want that, I'm going to tear these pages out, set them off to the side. I'll take that bottle, set that off to the side. I don't want that bottle. It's kind of boring. There's some little figs down here if I really wanted some tiny things, but those are pretty tiny. This you could do like a whole, you know, oh, I want that. But you could put different heads on these and have like a whole collection of people. But I do want that little sign. So I'm going to tear that off. I'm going to take this for that sign. That's a huge bottle. I don't think I want, but you could take just the label if you wanted. This is fun because you could use that as background pieces. So, and again, you could use that bottle if you wanted. So I'm going to take this and I'll cut this out. I may go ahead and just save that bottle since I have it. You could save this glass. I have a couple of things with the pouring because I know Nicole over at Relax Cut Glue likes to save stuff like that, but it's all floppy and annoying in my stash, and B, I haven't found a great place to put them yet, so maybe I'll have to play around with that some more. Oops, I wanted to save that one and I put it in the wrong pile. These bottles are kind of interesting. I might take the pink and yellow ones, set that off to the side. These are cool. I would just take the labels of them. And then I might even take the stone for some background pieces, although they would be dark background pieces, but that's okay. That's kind of a fun background piece for like squares or and rectangles. So if I say background piece, I mean squares and rectangles. Background piece, squares and rectangles is a lot to say. So I'm going to quit saying that. Ooh, I don't know what's going on there, but there's like meat inside the bread. Ooh, this background's cool. All right, definitely want this. I may even want this piece. Nice. So again, you know, if you see pictures like this, you can always cut these out for, you know, for your background pieces. There's no rhyme or reason to the background piece. Just take things that interest you. If you look at something and you're like, that's really interesting, cut it out. I mean, this is kind of interesting, so let's take it. And then there's some stuff on the back side, so if I wanted those bottles, I could get those and that Empire State Building drawing. Do I want these? You can also just take the labels. So I'll take that for those labels. Again, this is a great background piece. And it's got interesting colors. I think the biggest thing to think about when you are harvesting is what colors do you want? What colors are there? Don't think about the whole piece, right? I mean, like this is red. So if I needed some red, there's red right there. And I can take both, so I'll work on both. If you need green, there's some green. You have to train your eye to start looking at these things outside of, ooh, I may need her. She could be sitting on something, couldn't she? You have to train yourself to look at things outside of the context. So this lady is sitting on this shelf here and, you know, but if I cut her out, she wouldn't be doing that anymore. She could be sitting on a casserole. And this is a beautiful picture for a background. Oh, I wish she had legs. Although her shirt's really pretty. I'm taking it. So there's a couple of elements here. There's a background piece. There's this lady. I would probably cut that wine glass. She's holding a wine glass. She wouldn't be. She's not going to be holding a wine glass. All right, here's some more people that I could take. But what I could also take is just a piece of this stained glass. So that's kind of cool. Take that. I don't know what's going on there, but I don't think I need it. Oh, that's, I mean, again, see, you could cut this out for a background piece. You could cut out this plate of food. That's also something that you could take. So let's take that, and I'll also go ahead and take that since I want this plate. All right. I thought that this was scrambled eggs. It's not. I think it's risotto or something. These are interesting bottles. Okay, I may have to take these bottles. This is probably one of the best issues of this magazine I've gotten. This is really neat. This is a great background piece. So I'm going to take that. And I don't really want any of that. This could be a background piece if you liked the colors in it and you needed those colors. Again, this is a huge, wonderful background piece. You could do all sorts of stuff with this if you wanted it. Those bottles are pretty boring. I don't really want any of that. That's kind of funny. Well, that says I picked up some wine that will go well with all these appetizers. Funny. I'm getting rich dark fruit, soft tannins, and a hint of cocoa. Agree. Try Conundrum Red, slightly chilled to enhance the flavor profile. That's funny. All right. And then we're going to get back into here. And again, you know, you could cut all of these labels out if you wanted to use those for a collage. They would go great. I don't need stuff like that right now. So, and I already have a bunch of these still in my stash that I just haven't gotten through. So, and I'll get through them eventually. But this is the whole buying guide. There's not usually anything back here. All right, that could be a good background piece, but I don't really need one. But since it's here, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it out. All right, there we go. This is now gonna go in the recycling bin. And I know y'all are gonna be like, but Laura, there was so much there that you could have used. You could have done this, you could have done this. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. That's the name of our game if we let it. And I can't let it be the name of my game. So let's now go into HGTV. This one I will not recycle. This one I will pull things out and then I will keep this magazine and look at it again. Whoa. Immediately I want these pumpkins, as long as I don't rip them. And then on the other side, there's this whole thing, which I can cut into a background piece. So I'm gonna keep that. These would be a little finicky to cut out, but they may be fun. I'll take them. This is like really thick. I'm just gonna take it out. Ooh, I want these. This is the thing I love about HGTV magazine is that you just have all of these individual pieces that you can just cut out. And it's pretty amazing. These apples are great. That cast iron skillet is great. Do we want the Snickers bar? We might. I don't think I've ever harvested a magazine where I'm like, I'm going to take every single page. Ooh, I love those. Can I get those and the apples? Well, I could get some of those. Don't want the spiders. Blah. Don't like spiders. Don't like them. I could have the kitty cat. Don't think I want it. Let's see. These are great for cutting out background pieces because you can just cut little pieces of it depending on what colors you want. You could also cut out these dots, these paint dots if you wanted to. That's a really cool piece. This sometimes has really interesting stuff that I want to cut out. I think I will cut some of these things out. Take that. Okay, I love these pages. That one and this one. What's on the other side? Yeah, not much. This is great for making squares and rectangles. And a lot of people are like, how do you cut that up? You just cut it, man. You just cut it up. You don't think about it. You can't sit there and try to get like, well, oh, I want this piece of the hallway. No, you're not. That's not what you're doing. You're getting it for color, not for composition. So you have to rethink all of that. This is neat. I think I might take this. And then after I cut these out, I could see what's left of this. So I might take that. Is there anything I want here? I could take this piece of brick, but I don't think I really want it. Oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, I want these rugs. Man, we were woken up in the middle of the night last night. Oh, I might try to get some of these baskets too. We'll see what I can get off of that page. Oh, I might take these sheets and then these. Oh, and then I could take that. Yeah, I might. We'll see. This wallpaper is crazy. I would never have this in my house. I would be like, oh my gosh, you would just start getting dizzy with all of the tigers. I'd be like, there's tigers everywhere. This house is a bit overdone, I think. I mean, I don't know. That just seems like it would really start hurting your head. But it would be nice squares and rectangles. So let's take all of them and we will just take those for squares and rectangles and see what else we can get. Sometimes when you cut up the squares and rectangles, you also find other things. I do think a laundry room should have busy wallpaper. I really do. Ooh. All right, I might need, that's just a $3,000 chandelier. No big deal. We'll see what we cut out from that. I love that. Oh, that's the wallpaper in the living or the laundry room. That's cute. It's way too busy though, but we're going to take this. So HGTV really does have good stuff. And then again, I know I do rooms books, but there's all this writing on here and you could easily just cut these into squares and rectangles for blue. So I'll take that one. What's on the other side? Yeah. Okay. Here's a lot of greens. I might take some of this stuff. Actually, it's not speaking to me, so I'm not going to take it this time. Let's see. We'll just keep flipping. You can take these as little pieces. So I think what I was saying was that we had a huge storm last night. Well, it wasn't huge, but for us it was big. But it was definitely a thunderstorm. And oh my gosh, does it ever make the dogs very upset about things. Ooh, I've never made a Dutch baby. I really want to make a Dutch baby pancake. They just look so delicious. Oh, here you go. Maybe I should try to make one. Oh, it just looks so good, don't they? All right, let's see. Anything in here that would be neat? That pillow, that head would be really neat. I don't really need a lot of small things just now. That would be really cool. Oh, okay. I'm taking this because I can cut this up into background pieces. And I'm taking this because I can cut these out individually. What's on the other side? Okay. I'd have to decide which one I want. And I may cut out these pumpkins and then see what I have left for these. So that may be what I'm going to do there. You can use these as, background pieces as a whole. And then, you can put like here, I've got some people here that I've been working on, but see, you could do like a little bottle lady and then, add some more stuff to her. And, if you just want to do it easy and you don't want to have to do the whole, I'm taking the whole square and rectangle thing. It's very easy. All you have to do. Oh, look at this. Taking that. So cute. We're taking that dog. And I know Diane over at Tattered Edges Designs, she cut all of these out and she made a whole cool thing with them. And it was pretty awesome. All right, so I took like half of that magazine. I'm going to put that back on my shelf and I'll look at it later. Another magazine I got, which is new to me, is Condé Nast Traveler. So they just sent me a free issue for some reason. I don't think that I've subscribed to it. Maybe I have, and it was a free subscription. So I haven't actually gone through this, but here's some great background pieces if you wanted that color background piece. Once you put these on a page with a bunch of other pieces, they disappear to what they actually are. Let me see if I can show you really quickly. Oh, I really want this Fisher guy with the fish. I don't think I've ever taken him yet. Maybe I have, and I just don't remember it. But see, once you put things in, you kind of don't see what they are because your eye is looking at the whole. So you don't notice that, you know, like this is a chair and a rug and a pillow. So it kind of, you know, your eye just takes over and it's all, you know, a bigger picture. So that's why it doesn't matter what it is. Don't look at the context. Just look at the colors. And if you like the colors, go for it. Absolutely. Take it. Put it in your book. I want her. I just like the way she looks. And I can put her somewhere. This I would take for a background piece because I like the colors. So I'm going to take this. And then I may take something on this side if I still have it, you know, depending on what I still have. These are great background pieces. These are all good background pieces. I just don't need any background pieces. These would make great background pieces if you needed like blue and orange. This would be an amazing background piece. It looks like lava. It's kind of cool. But you would just cut it up. Another background piece. Once you remove the context, it just changes. It turns into a piece of color. These are all beautiful abstract background pieces. I would even take this one because you can't really see the people. The people aren't very noticeable. So these are all, right now this Traveler magazine has a lot of good background pieces. These are excellent background pieces. There's so much color to them. That's gorgeous. Where is this? Do we know? Uzbekistan. Nice. Again, you could just use, this is really thick, so I'm not going to cut that dog out. Plus, he's huge. He's huge. Ooh, horses. So I might cut this horse out. Let's take that. I've cut that horse out. I might cut that horse out, but I also really like this picture on the back, but I don't know what I would do with it. I'll leave that. And then I think there's another one where she has a horse that I want. Yeah, I want this big horse. And I know somebody told me I need to make a horse glue book, and I will. So again, this is a great place to do squares and rectangles. You could take this whole page and just cut it into squares and rectangles. Same here. Once you take away that this is a wall mural, it'll just be abstract at that point. Again, more abstract pieces to just put in the background. These are great background pieces. That's a great bird. You could just cut that. Maybe I will take that bird. So anything like this is a background piece. And then you just glue whatever down. It doesn't even matter. Don't even worry about it. If it happens to have similar colors to what you already have, great. Okay. I was so excited to get this one. My Good Housekeeping subscription is very weird. I think I only get 6 a year. I think they are all 2 months. So I totally forgot that I had a Good Housekeeping subscription, but I love Good Housekeeping for glue booking. So, this Traveler magazine is great for backgrounds. You just need squares and rectangles. That's perfect. If you're looking for things, this is great. So you could cut out this wreath. That's one thing. You could cut out this bowl of sweet gums. That's what we called them. I don't know. What do they call them? They call them gumballs. Yes, we also call them gumballs. This is great for squares and rectangles. So I know that it is, you know, a bowl of olives and mozzarella, but if you cut it out, you wouldn't really know. This is great, but you'd have to decide which one you wanted. These are good just for the colors. So you could definitely have those. Again, squares and rectangles. And, you know, don't look at this as a whole. Look at it as, you know, here's a little rectangle. Here's a bigger rectangle. Or you could even cut it so that, you know, you could cut that out and then make this 2 rectangles, whatever. You just have to look through the context for the color. So I'm not going to take anything out of this Good Housekeeping unless it really speaks to me. And we'll see what does. Ooh. All right. Man, I don't know how to take that. I mean, I guess I could try to take the whole thing, but that's huge. This, I could take this. Ooh, I love these cards. So this is a moment in time where I would probably stop and be like, what do I want? And what use would I use them for right now? And I don't have, oh, that's kind of cool. I don't have a Halloween use right this second, but I'm going to remember that I have this Halloween. So a lot of times I will remember my holiday issues, and then I will go and get them when I'm doing a theme. This bear is kind of funny and cute. So is that one. I just cut this bear out. All right, let's do that. We're gonna take that. That bear is kind of funny. The ice cream looks like pints of ice cream in the cooler. I've cut this lady out before. This is great squares and rectangles, and if you cut it, you won't even know that these are hands, and it'll just look like, you know, it'll just look like stuff. I don't want those. I know they look delicious. Oh, you know, well, no, actually I'm gonna take them. I just had an idea. We'll see if I get around to it. This is a great background page. That's a great background page. These are good background pieces. Piece. Background pieces. You could take these kettles, but I just don't need stuff like that right this second. I really need to use what I have. I'm gonna have to stop doing New Magazine Monday for a minute. Ooh, I could take this sandwich, couldn't I? Chopped cheese. General Tso's cauliflower. Well, yeah, Trader Joe's sells that frozen. It's delicious. It's a bit too delicious. Tuna noodle casserole. I needed a casserole to put Travis Kelce in. Okay, I love these cookies and that milk. I think I'm going to take this. Just for the cookies and milk. I really wish that they would start putting things, they used to take pictures of food like this from this like 45-degree angle. They don't do that anymore. Whoa, that's nice. You could put some people on there. This would be an interesting background piece for a black and white background. I know this is in color, but when you take just this out, it turns into black and white. Oh, this is all really cool. All right. These are smaller pictures, which sometimes are better. Sometimes you can, you can find, like there's a small sandwich instead of getting the really big one. And then here's small pictures of things, which I would probably take these small pictures over the big pictures, especially this one. This would be neat. You could cut all this out and put that somewhere. That would be cool on a card, actually. You can make a little Halloween card for somebody. For pictures like this, always stop and look and, could you take both of these shoes? You could take these little shoes and you could just put them somewhere. And sometimes those little details are all that you need. Like you could take this you could take these, and sometimes that's those details. Oh, we're taking these dogs. Those details are sometimes exactly what a page needs to look finished. Definitely taking those dogs. All right, there we go. So here's what we did. We did Good Housekeeping, Condé Nast Traveler. I don't know where my other one went. Where did that go? Didn't I have another? Where did it go? I've lost it. I lost my magazine? Well, one I put in the... Wow, where did it go? It's an HGTV magazine. Here it is. Here it is. It was mixed in with my pages. Good Housekeeping, Condé Nast Traveler, HGTV. That's what we did today. Welcome to your week. I hope that you have a lovely week. I hope that this was fun. I know some of you harvest with me. This is what all we collected today. I can't even get it all together because some of these pages are from Whiskey Advocate and they're massive. They're so big. But I will cut some of these up and harvest them, and we will keep glue booking. And I hope that you had fun, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you Saturday if I don't see you before then. Have a wonderful week.